I have a confession to make. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I'm a Pokemon hacker. That's right, I'm an outlaw. Okay, probably not.
Oh, so cringe.
But I have edited a Pokemon settings to give it traits that it didn't always have. Well, one specific trait, and we'll get to that. But I wanted to tell you first how I got here, because for the longest time, I would not touch hacking software. The idea of hacking Pokemon felt icky. I've always been okay with exploiting game glitches, like to get Mew in Blue or to get a shiny Ditto in Generation 2, but using something external felt like going too far. I joked about being an outlaw, but that is how it felt. As far as I know, modding Pokemon is not illegal, even if you make illegitimate mods like giving them moves that they're not supposed to have. I don't think that's illegal. It may be illegal in Japan, but as far as I know, in Canada, in Brazil, in the United States, not illegal. It may be against terms of service because they don't want you modifying their software, and both Pokemon and Nintendo have made big statements about banning people who hack Pokemon from online play. And that is certainly something to keep in mind nowadays, but it wasn't as much of a thing before Pokemon moved to the Switch. Certainly not around Generation 2 when I first encountered hacking Pokemon. I had a friend who owned a Game Shark, I think is what it was. It might have been an action replay. But either way, it was a device that you put your game cartridge into, and the device itself went into the game slot on the Game Boy, and it allowed you to enter cheat codes to modify your game in various ways. You could give your Pokemon new moves, you could get specific Pokemon to spawn in the wild, you could even make them shiny. And I remember being apprehensive about it when he showed me what it could do. Cheating on any level felt wrong to me. But he did eventually win me over by getting me a Celebi, which actually allowed me to fully complete the Pokédex, since Celebi was completely unobtainable at the time. And he gave me a shiny Articuno. But even though I accepted those gifts, that didn't mean I felt comfortable about them. I just told myself, I didn't hack them. If someone asks, I can say they were traded to me and I didn't know they were hacked. And that was enough for me to use both the Celebi and the Articuno fairly comfortably, both in my Crystal game and in Stadium 2. But that icky I'm doing something wrong feeling persisted for many generations. Whenever the topic or the idea of hacking Pokemon would come up, my attitude at the time was, it's wrong, it's not allowed, you shouldn't do it, period. But as long as you're doing it anyway, I guess I can take a free shiny, thank you very much. The funny thing is, it's not like I didn't do other things that were actually illegal. I used LimeWire to download songs without paying for them. I used a cracked Photoshop with a fake activation key. I stole a classmate's Pokemon card binder.
Confessions of an Umbreon Libris.
Good thing my family doesn't normally watch my videos. But for some reason, hacking a Pokemon was crossing a line. The games were too important to me, they were inviolable. I still continued to accept hacked gifts in the Generation 4 era. A friend gave me a shiny Gengar, and I think one other shiny, but I can't remember what it was. I keep thinking that it was an Umbreon, but I've checked home, and the only shiny Umbreon that I have is the one that I hatched myself in Generation 6. I've tried searching in home by original trainer, like I found what the Gengar was, and I searched for other Pokemon with the same trainer ID. More recently, in the Generation 7 era, Indigo got me a shiny Mew for my birthday?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. I thought maybe it was Christmas, but okay, it was birthday.
Birthday, yeah.
But this whole time I had that rationalization that I didn't do it myself, so I can't get in trouble for it. Knowing that I was not the one who directly handled the hacking software, that's what got me through it. But everything changed when the Fire-type nation attacked.
So cringe.
Sometime last year, I got this idea to do a solo playthrough of Pokemon X using only Braixen. I did a playthrough of Crystal a few years ago where I used only a Bayleaf, and that was a ton of fun, so I wanted to recreate that with another starter that is better off not evolving. But I wanted to do it with a shiny Braixen. I love Braixen's shiny colors. It reminds me of Kiki from Kiki's Delivery Service, which is, of course, appropriately witchy. But the only way to get a legitimate shiny starter without trading, which is not ideal because of the experience boost, is to get lucky. It's to soft reset. Two problems with that. One, I hate soft resetting. I tried resetting for a Celebi in Virtual Console Crystal. That's a 1 in 8,192 chance. Gave up on that one. Also tried resetting for a shiny Mewtwo in Let's Go. Went in equipped with the shiny charm, with lures, with a catch combo, so I had odds of about 1 in 273. Still gave up on that one. Second problem, getting your starter in X and Y takes forever from your last opportunity to save, so it's the worst game to reset for a starter in. I dreaded soft resetting so much, I put it off for months, and I only finally convinced myself to do it earlier this summer. I promise that I tried. I would reset passively while watching TV. I would do it for half an hour to an hour every day, and within a couple of weeks, I was fed up. I was over it. I just wanted to get to the fun part of actually playing the game. The idea of hacking something for myself still felt icky, but my overall attitude towards hacking has shifted in the last few years. Now, my feeling is that as long as you're not negatively impacting someone else's gameplay, you do whatever you want, have your fun, go be happy. Obviously, if you're trying to take a Pokemon with illegal moves or modified stats into a competition, or even into a casual battle but in a situation where your opponent isn't aware of it, that's wrong, don't do it, you'll get banned and you'll deserve it. But if you're just making a change to improve your own gameplay experience, even the Pokemon Company should be okay with that. And having a Pokemon with the alternate coloration that you like better can definitely improve your experience, whether it's a rare shiny or not. So my frustration with soft resetting, that finally got me over that hill into, all right, we're gonna do this. Setting up everything I needed was a bit of a process, but easy enough, very well explained on the 3DS Hacks Guide. I had to download some software onto my PC, use that to homebrew the 3DS and install some custom firmware. I actually used an older 3DS that neither of us are using anymore, just in case something went wrong and it did get bricked or something. Then I went into the game again, got really lucky that the first Fennekin I got after starting this process was female. I wanted a female and I just wanted the whole thing to be as close to legitimate as possible. What can I say? My gut reaction still tells me that it's wrong. So I named the Fennekin Kiki, saved the game, used the custom firmware to back up my save file, looked at a quick guide on PkHex, thank you Gavin, loaded Kiki into PkHex, and checked the one box to flip it to shiny. Then I saved that, put it back into the 3DS, loaded up the game, and confirmed that Kiki was in fact shiny. Just to be sure, I moved the game cards back over to my new 3DS, the one I was actually using to play, and there it was, my beautiful silvery Fennekin. And then I played the game! Solo games are really interesting because since you're only using one Pokemon aside from HMs, your one Pokemon gets a ton of experience. Even without any grinding, you spend pretty much the entire game at about 50% above your opponent's levels. So it's really easy, except when it's not. There was a gym trainer in Grant's gym with a Solrock and a Lunatone, which meant that they could wall both of the attack moves that I had at the time and hit me for super effective damage. After losing to her several times, I caved and I used some healing items during the battle, something that's really last resort for me. I battled someone from Team Flare that had a Flash Fire Houndoom, so immune to both my Psychic and Fire moves, and resistant to the Grass Knot that I had for coverage. So I taught Kiki Return, and I later swapped it for Hidden Power because even though it was weaker, it was Dragon type and I liked the novelty of having a Dragon type move. Both Lysander and Seabold had Gyarados, able to tank my neutral hits and take out Kiki in at most 2 hits. So I gave her Eviolite, and I still had to grind to make sure that she could take more than 1 hit reliably, and I still had to use healing items during the battle, which also meant there were quite a few instances of canceling evolution since she was no longer holding the Everstone. When I embarked on this and decided to artificially make Kiki shiny, I did worry that I wouldn't connect with her quite as well as I would have if everything was legitimate. But you know, seeing Fennekin evolve into a beautiful purple Braixen, registering only Kiki in the Hall of Fame, beating up some restaurateurs to get her the rest of the way up to level 100, I love Kiki. Would I have loved her more if I had actually slogged through with soft resetting? Maybe? But there's a law of decreasing marginal utility here. That colossal additional investment of time and effort would have improved my experience only minimally, if at all. I had a ton of fun playing Pokemon X again. My Kiki is just as real as a legitimate shiny. For now, I'm going to keep Kiki in Pokemon X. I can't bring Braixen into Sword and Shield anyway, and maybe I'll want to pick up the game again some other time. But I do look forward to seeing Kiki in another main game one day, which will mean putting her online in Pokemon Home. This is where the question of terms of service comes into play again, because it's possible, or at least it might be possible, that the Pokemon Company could detect that Kiki isn't 100% legitimate. But then again, I do have that hacked Gengar and the hacked Mew that Indigo gave me. Those are in Pokemon Home right now, and there hasn't been a problem, so I'm not really worried.
You just confessed!
What's your attitude towards hacking Pokemon? Have you had someone else hack a Pokemon for you, or have you done it yourself? Let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching. Thank you also to luxury patron Ethan from Chicago and everyone else who supports my channel financially through Patreon or YouTube channel memberships. You can join them using the links in the description. I'll see you in the next chapter.